Here we go. James Navalance here. Sports conversation on the Believe Network. Joining us today, Daylen Kountz, University of Northern Colorado. First off, my guy Daylen, I appreciate you coming on.
Man, I appreciate you for having me. Appreciate you having
No,
me on here though. It's gonna be pretty cool.
no doubt, no doubt. Me and Daylen, we've pretty much 2 weeks together in Phoenix. Felt longer than 2 weeks, but we
Man,
had
it
a good
felt
time
like
in
a while.
Phoenix. It felt like a while for both of us. Both of us. But no. We had a great time in Phoenix. So just first off here, just starting out, just giving the audience a general idea of your background. Basically, just going through high school, and then kind of what the recruiting component look like for you coming out of high school.
From Denver, from Colorado. Went to two high schools, George Washington. I went to Denver East years, and yeah, I pretty much started like picking up offers towards like the middle of my high school career, like towards the end. Played on the Adidas Gauntlet with the Colorado Hawks. Played with them. And then yeah, like on that gauntlet, just started picking up some offers and I had a few different like decisions. What it's time for me to make my decision, but I ended up signing committing really early, like before my senior year. I committed to Colorado, and then I ended up signing like during that signing period. But yeah, I had to end up committing them really early, like right before my senior year started, and then yeah,
Did
pretty much went from
yeah,
there.
you good? Yeah. So did being from Denver, like how big of obviously you're at Northern Colorado now. Could maybe mute me? It's like coming through on my end, on yours a little bit.
Is it coming through late?
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit.
Okay, you think maybe I should try it on my phone then? If it think that'll work better.
Let me see. All right, try talking again.
Can
Yeah,
you?
it's like coming through. All right, hold up. You're good. You're good.
Here, let me
Let's
just try
try.
to join it on my phone instead. Maybe that might make it work better.
Try that. Try that
Cause
real
I'm on my
quick.
computer right
You're good. You're good.
now. All right, let me try. Okay. All right. Leave on
Here,
this
let
one.
me. uh, Oh, let's see now. Hold up.
Better now?
Let me see. Say it again.
Is that better now?
Oh, that's way better.
Okay.
That's way better. So let me. I've never. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna try. You know what? We're good. I'm just gonna let this roll. All right. So the only thing that's live is like the YouTube part, but whatever. That doesn't matter. Like on my end, like I can then go back, cut this all up, so it's not that big of a deal. I'll just start it from the very beginning though,
All
just
right.
from the audio standpoint. You're good though. Seriously, all good.
All right.
Yeah, that sounds way better though. All right. And here we go again. Sports conversation with James Navalance on the Believe Network. And joining us today is Daylen Kountz, University of Northern Colorado guard. I appreciate you coming on, Daylen.
Appreciate you for having me.
No doubt, my guy. We spent 2 weeks or so in Phoenix with our guy Phil Beckner doing all the player development stuff. Um, you know, It felt longer for 2 weeks for sure for the both of us,
Yeah,
but
it
definitely,
definitely felt.
yeah,
Yeah, it felt way
definitely
longer
a great
looking back at it.
experience. Yeah,
But it's
no doubt.
definitely a good
No
experience.
doubt.
Though. It's different, but it's a real good one though.
Absolutely, man. So now let's just get, the audience into your background here real quick. Just, going through, your high school, the AAU experience, the recruiting experience, and then ultimately your decision to go to Colorado at first.
Yeah. So I'm from Denver, Colorado. I went to George Washington my first 2 years, and then my second 2 years I went to Denver East High School. And then during that time, I played for the Colorado Hawks. We were on the Adidas circuit, so like we got pretty good like it's pretty good exposure, playing that circuit, playing against some of them top guys in that. But yeah, like some of my offers started rolling in like my sophomore year. After that, it started rolling. And then when it came down to my decision, I had a few different schools, nice select few options, but I ended up choosing Colorado. I committed to them really early, like when did I commit to them? Probably like right before, yeah, I committed to them before my senior year. So like right at the end of that last AAU summer I had, and then I ended up signing to them like during the signing period, and then yeah, I ended up going to Colorado after that.
How big of a component was, staying local? And obviously, going coming in early to Colorado, being from Denver, and then ultimately, obviously, you're now at Northern Colorado. Like, how big of a deal was that, to stay local?
I mean, it was kind of a big deal. I mean, when I was first going to Colorado, it's kind of a big deal. It's just like, what I mean, like the biggest school in Colorado like wants me there, and like they're kind of one of my better offers at the time. So I'm like, well, it makes sense for me just to stay home and go here. And then when I decided to come to UNC after that, it's just like, I mean, this kind of so happened to be here. Like it's just after I was going through all that stuff after the portal, just kind of looking at what schools I wanted. It's just like, I mean, this kind of program that fits, and they just so happen to still be in Colorado, honestly.
Yeah. So yeah, so take me through that transition. Obviously, you go to Colorado, things, for whatever reason, don't work out right. Looking for a better opportunity. Go in the transfer portal. Obviously, it's so, you know, talked about, discussed, scrutinized to a degree, right? Especially now I would say over the last 5 years, it's become such a big deal. And obviously, you decided to go to the Northern Crowd. Just take me through that process, through that kind of decision making, and ultimately what the kind of growth that also took place during that time.
Yeah, so like my freshman year in Colorado, probably played about like 10 or 12 minutes off the bench. Not bad for a freshman. Played pretty good. Had a few highlights, nothing crazy. But then my second year came around, didn't play as much as I liked. Yeah, that kind of went like that, and I just kind of felt like I wanted to get on the floor, go somewhere where I could get on the floor more and kind of play more. Just because like my college career is winding down after 2 years, I only had two left. But yeah, then after that, I kind of went in the portal, and then pretty much was just like talking to schools, and then so Coach Smiley, my coach now, I had known him before I committed to Colorado because he was at UNC, he's the assistant there, and like we kind of had a pretty good relationship before then, and it just kind of made it easier when I was going in to pick the decision for what school I want to go to after transferring or after I entered the portal.
No, yeah, definitely. That makes a ton of sense. What would you say though? Now, obviously, like, boom, you go for Colorado, then you immediately step into a bigger role, larger role. You average, I believe, 14.3 first year there, and then you make an even bigger jump this past year. Would you say kind of like this transformed especially over the last 2 years, just within your game, obviously within the role, but obviously overall with your game?
I mean, just expanding all parts of my game. A lot of it was confidence. Just growing that confidence that first year. Like it was a good year that first year. Just kind of like trying to get involved with the team, kind of make myself fit in. Just coming from another school and with new guys, and it's actually crazy because a few of the guys that were on the team when I first got to UNC, we played at AU together. So like me, Bodie, and Sam, we all played AU together. So like I was familiar with them, but just had to get familiar with the rest of the team, and then just I kind of feel like my first year at UNC, like my confidence was just growing, like game by game. Just kind of seeing what I could do, and just kind of get back out there in the rhythm of playing, just because I wasn't used to playing a lot. And then like I took that big jump from the first year to my second year at UNC. Just a lot of that was confidence, and then just really just getting in the gym, working on like my three ball, and just kind of building all aspects of my game, just to be more versatile.
No, so take me through that confidence piece, because I feel like as a coach, like that's like the most important piece, legitimately. And I would say like you can testify to this too, like being in around Phil, being around these players that we were in Phoenix. You were around more of the college guys, and then I got to experience the NBA guys a little bit too. Like you see like I feel like that separator is it starts with that mentality, right? And like having that utmost confidence. So take me through like obviously not playing as much. You mentioned like that ability to really build on your confidence as you start playing. But what do you think? Like if you could kind of do it over again, even regardless of not playing as much, still keeping that kind of same mentality of like, nah, like I'm gonna dominate, like I'm gonna be the best player that I can possibly be, and keeping that confidence. Obviously, it's not easy. Confidence can waver, but where would you say, like, all right, this is the one thing like I could have done a better job of building that confidence, and then that keep really having that confidence kind of where you are at right now.
I mean, if I could go back, just like, I mean, just kind of just, mm, say, just continue to keep my confidence. Not to be too high or not to be too low. Like there's times where, there was a time where like I was just too low. I was like looking at the negative and looking at the, the downside of it, but not, really think about like, I'm here for a reason. Like I'm still a good player. Like they didn't bring me here for no reason. Just, figuring out a way to balance that confidence where it's not too high, it's not too low. But yeah, just growing that confidence and just maintaining it. Not like, not being moved by too much things, not being moved a lot by certain things. Just being able to, just stay level headed really.
That level of consistency, right?
Yeah,
Like
being
I think
consistent.
I think that's what we all strive for. Like damn, I want to show up in the gym, be the same dude every single day, right?
Hmm.
Like you want to show up in the gym, be the same dude. Like hey, you can depend on me to do X, Y, and Z, right? And we all kind of strive for that level of confidence and just consistency and like ownership of kind of who you are,
Yeah.
right? And just having that comfortability, and then because that allows you to kind of strive to be the best you, because you're uncomfortable, you're unsure, you're unease, like you're just not gonna ultimately produce at the same exact level. um we'll see. Like I know we talked about the confidence piece, we talked about the skill set. What would you say, like, well, let's go to Phoenix.
Hmm.
Those 2 weeks, three, whatever it was, me, in terms of that time there, it felt like years.
Real.
But but over that time, like, what was the biggest things you picked up on from any
um,
standpoint, skill set and just mentality?
just like kind of being more like a pro. I mean, just kind of treating yourself a pro. Like being a pro, you got to take care of your body, you got to eat right, and then like just a little thing. Like before I even went down there, my coach was telling me like, he showed me like the Ochai article, like where he was late to the workout. He was like, he's big on time. Like you got to be stretched out and ready to go 10 minutes before the workout's even start. Like, so before I went down there, like that's the thing that's in my head. Like I gotta make sure I'm early, stretched out, ready to go. But just being, just being a pro, like just taking care of my body, eating right, getting sleep, and then just having that confidence to, like I'm here for a reason. Like, everybody's here for a reason. I'm good too. Like I'm here. But just that confidence, really confidence, and then just treat myself and learning how to be like a pro, move like a pro.
Yeah, I would say, we touched on the mentality piece. I felt like all you guys, like, that mentality, what the environment created, like, just a competitive
Hmm.
nature in all aspects. Like if you weren't competitive, you weren't going like 110 miles per hour. Every single person in the gym, whether you were an intern, whether you were a coach, one of VC, Phil, like one of the college guys, one of the NBA guys, like it was just intense and
Yeah, like
just that standard of excellence. You know what I mean? And like damn, like if you weren't on that day, like
you gonna
you're
know.
getting chewed out, right? You're gonna know
you
it.
gonna you're gonna hear it.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And I feel like, I'll let you touch on this as well. I feel like, since leaving there, like you just notice things at such a different like level. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like
Hmm.
damn, like that's all level. Like just the way people operate on a day-to-day basis. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I feel like that might be the thing I've really gotten better at, is just like no, like I know what high level looks like. I got to do that, and I got to help the other people around me get to that point. You know what I mean? And I feel that is the area, um, from Phoenix, from all that I kind of took from.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like it just kind of raise your standards, raise your expectations for how you do things. You know what I mean? Like you said, like if you weren't doing it as hard as you can, like or going as hard as you can, somebody in the gym's letting you know, like whether it's Phil, VC, or whoever, like they're gonna let you know, and like that's something like just that mentality that you learn is not something you just have for basketball. Like you could take that to your everyday life, like which is good, you know what I mean? And yeah, just like you said, like if you weren't doing it, like, they're gonna let you know, and that's always good, just because they're pushing you, and then when you take that with your own, like for me, taking that and bringing it back to my teammates at Northern Colorado, like that's something that could help them out. I could use that to help them out, and then just kind of raise the standards of excellence.
Absolutely. The standard every day, like just being being that standard, being
Mhm.
that example and being that guy every single day. And then, that influences others and we just keep raising, that level of excellence really. Now that's a perfect transition. I'm gonna transition right to Northern Colorado, you guys. So
Mhm.
obviously you open up with Houston, right? One of the most physical teams in the country, one of the best programs since Kelvin Sampson's, taking them over, have a Final Four appearance, arguably, as of right now, could be argued best team in the country. And then you got a game tomorrow, and then you got Baylor, who obviously 2021 won a national championship.
Yeah.
So what is it like for you guys knowing, these first couple games, 2 out of 3, like ain't easy, but in some ways kind of all right, like that's the bar, that's the level, that's what the top of the top looks like. What like how does that build you guys for the long haul and the kind of the foundation of this season that you guys are building?
It's really good for us just to like see them teams out in the beginning, especially with this year's team. We have a lot of newer guys, like we got some freshmen and some transfers, and we just got a different. It's a different team this year compared to last year. We had a lot of guys leave last year, but it's good for us to see that early on, so we could just kind of see how good we are. It lets us know like where we're at, kind of where we're where everything's going right now, and then it's also good to learn. And then just long haul or long run, just looking at that for us, like when we get to conference and say if we win a conference and get to the tournament, then like we've kind of seen what these top teams are about, how they are, like what these are real guys, seeing how they play and kind of how those games are, and then especially like the environments, playing in environments early, getting used to playing that, being able to execute in that, and just if you ever play in them environments, then you're pretty much able to play in any environment. Like when it opened up at Houston, it was a sold out crowd, and they're #3 team in the country. Like you don't get to do that a lot. Like a lot of people don't get to do that. For their first game or first game of the season, it's just like just kind of like a test to see where we're at.
Absolutely, I'd rather, from my perspective as well, like you'd rather be battle tested,
Hmm.
right? Rather than just going through non-conference,
And
getting
just
wins, easy schedule, right? Getting kind of a false narrative, a false belief, of kind of all right, this is what it's like now. Like, nah, we're gonna start off right away with the best of the best, and then we continue to build from there. So obviously it's not the outcome you guys wanted, but it is a foundation piece, and it's something that you can continue to build on. Um, what would you say for you on a personal level? Let's go personal level first.
mhm.
Just what is something on a personal level that you're kind of continuing to strive at, continuing to develop in? Like, what's something that you're working on kind of on a consistent basis just to get better on a personal level?
Just for me, like, after having a year like last year, so a lot of teams are going to be keying in on me, and like, I'm the main focus of their defensive scouts and all that. So now just being able to use all that attention to get my teammates going, and just being able to use that to help them out, because like I said, everybody's keying in on me. They're trying to figure out a way to stop me, but if I could get them going, then it loosens up the game for me. Obviously, just getting them going, but just using my attention to help out my teammates, get the ball moving and just help them play better.
Absolutely. Now, what from a skill standpoint?
Skill standpoint is just like just being able to make the right reads, right decisions. Just because it's gonna be pretty sure it's gonna be a lot of two people on the ball, so just being able to make them right plays to, making the right reads to hit the people that's open, and then just being able to kind of like I said, just use that when teams are putting two on me or I'm drawing more attention, just being able to use that against them to get others going and get my team going, and then also just being like I said, for this team, it's a lot more new people in this team. Like we have newer pieces, so I also have to be more of a vocal leader while doing that, just because we got new pieces. We don't have the old team like we did last year. So just being more vocal and just kind of stepping more into that vocal leadership role.
No, that's like a perfect transition. Cause I was gonna be like, yeah, like you got a new bunch of newcomers, you said transfers coming in. Obviously, you're a veteran at this point.
Mm-hmm.
What you said from a vocal standpoint, and obviously, like lead by example, that kind of stuff. But kind of give me more detail on just your leadership, your development kind of in that, and kind of, because that's a process. Like that doesn't just like boom, you're a leader day one. Like that is something like you got to continuously build, and especially within your individual team, building that throughout the year. So what would you say from that standpoint? How's that development been for you from the leadership side of it?
It's been good but challenging. Just like I'm not the most like talkative person, so like it's definitely something different for me to do. Like just being more vocal, and with it being my 5th year in college, like I've seen a lot of things. I played against a lot of people, so like with these freshmen and some of the teams, just being able to like just being more vocal, being able to tell them like just being able to help run the team, like, making my voice be heard, whether it's on defense or offense, just being more vocal. Just because, like I said, I've been in college 5 years, so like I've seen a lot, and I'm pretty sure I know a lot of things that teams are doing or where people are supposed to be and stuff like that.
No, that's big. That's big time. Fifth year. I know you guys. You want to have a phenomenal year. You want to lead your guys, have big successful in the big sky. I expect you guys to just continue to develop, continue to grow, and you guys are gonna be big. Last couple of things though. So I'm gonna start with this one though. It's kind of my ethos. It's kind of what I'm about. Every person I bring on, this is what I'm gonna discuss because I think it's ultimately what we all really strive for, right? And that's for me, it's being the best version of myself, and then ultimately, kind of my role being a coach, like helping others around me be the best version of themselves. So I'm gonna ask you like this: what's the best version of Daylen Counts, and what does that look like?
Best version of Daylen Kountz.
Counts, yeah.
I say just, I mean, making plays for others. Of course, like I know I could score, but really just making plays and then just kind of making plays and just trying to get after it on the defensive end, taking them strides that way. Just kind of playing within myself, not trying to do, too much that I don't do. Just keeping it simple, not overdoing it, but just, having fun, making plays, and really everything else just handle itself.
Simplicity. I think that's
That's
getting
a
to
big
know
thing.
getting to know you. Our car rides and stuff like that. Like you are definitely chill, like consistent. Like not that I do feel like people that are like chill, just consistent, like kind of get like a bad rap at times. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like, oh, do they work hard? Do they lead? Do they do certain things? It's like no, like I'm just consistent. Like I'm not gonna be up and down all over the place. Like I'm just gonna be me on a consistent basis, and like that's something that's like respected. I feel like just knowing, like yeah, like Dalen's gonna be the same dude every day.
Yeah,
Like
that's
and I
something.
and I and I don't think like that's taken for granted in anything. Whether it's basketball wise, whether it's life wise. Like Dalen's a guy like boom, I can count on.
Mhm.
And not being up and down and being just a guy's guy is something that I think I think is just underrated.
Yeah,
Because
that's
we all
definitely
look for.
during that
Yeah, go ahead.
transition. Like, sorry, during that transition when I had came from like CU to Northern Colorado, that's one thing like Coach Smiley had told me a lot is like just being an everyday guy, like just being more consistent, like not with just basketball, but just in everything. You know what I mean? And I mean that's something that's like I've learned, and I feel like I've took big steps with that. Just being just being an everyday guy, like knowing that people knowing that they're gonna get this from me every single day. Like I'm gonna be humble attitude, like hard worker, like you just knowing you'll get that from me every single day is just really kind of what I've been focused on a lot these past like 2 years, and just trying to even take bigger steps with that.
No, it's big time. Being consistent, being the dude you are. Um, I know high level things, are gonna come for you from your season, and then obviously, moving forward because I know the type of dude that you are. Um, but that is all I got for you. So I appreciate you coming on. You're my guy. You were absolutely my guy in Phoenix. without question. So sports conversation with James Navalins on the Believe Network. Daylen Kountz, right? I got that right, Kountz.
Yep.
My pronunciations ain't ideal. You can ask my team when we go through Scout and I'm running through these names. And I'm like, nah, James, like, you don't got that one. So
yeah, it's all good. People mess it up all the time.
I do. Yeah. I got you though. No, but I know you got a game tomorrow. Wishing you best of luck then Bear on Monday, and then obviously the rest of the way. Obviously, I'll be following it. And I'll definitely be staying in touch because you're my guy.
Definitely. I appreciate you for having me on here.
Of course, man. Anytime.